Is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here, continued to be mindful and weather aware that potential of flooding and flash flooding will exist now. Seeing some rain and storms work across areas of Ohio and into West Virginia for the morning drive. Find your spot on the map. In the dark green is where that flood watch is, includes Charleston, but a lot of us too. All of these are until 11 o'clock tonight for that flood watch. Total over the next 5 days, showers are generally likely and locally higher amounts are possible as well. Some flash flooding may be possible as soon as this morning for the morning drive, and also today and tonight up to a slight risk for isolated to widely scattered flash flooding. That's a possibility today. And also tomorrow, more risks into the second half of the weekend, and also a marginal risk of some isolated damaging winds possible with storms. Again, our weather model here is doing a pretty good job of placing the rain, potentially at 7 a.m. Showers and storms are generally going to be likely for our northern and western areas and pushing east through the day. And I'll watch for more development in the afternoon. Stationary front will attempt to transition into a warm front now. Fly super forecast, it starts at home. To our southeast, a lot of heat concerns today. Orlando and Tampa have highs in the upper 90s there. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Showers and storms are generally likely. For eastern areas, a likely chance of rain. Highs around the low to mid 80s for the eastern Panhandle. Some of our western areas, rain and storms are already observed for the morning drive. Be weather aware of excessive and heavy rain. To our south, highs range from the upper 70s to near 90. Near 90 in Huntington today. Again, a stationary front, which has been the main driver where the storms are going to fall, is going to likely transition into a warm front now. Will be more favored for rain today. Chances through the weekend, likely on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday may be dry. And then our next chance of rain next week on Thursday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
Made it to a Friday. Steam release coming up later this morning. Stirewalt is back from vacation. And what's the latest as a deadline looms on the Greenbrier? It's MetroNews Talkline. We're ready to go.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line up link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Made it to a Friday. Looking forward to the weekend. One more Friday until high school football season starts. 2 full weeks till we get things really cranked up around West Virginia. Good morning. Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave in Morgantown, TJ in Charleston. Sophia handles the audio. Jake is on the video. 800-765-TALK's the phone number. Text the show, 304-TALK-304. Say good morning to all of our great radio affiliates in and around the state of West Virginia. Or if you're watching in on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube. Stirewalt is back. He'll join us second hour. A lot to get into with Stirewalt. I want to bring up the Air Force One switcheroo, what he thought about the primary elections this week. We'll get into all that with Chris coming up at the top of next hour. Say good morning, TJ Meadows. He's down in the Encova Insurance Studios Southern Command. Good morning, sir.
I'm sure Chris has used a food cart to sneak out of somewhere. It just wasn't Air Force One.
Do you think he's high profile enough he gets to use the food cart?
Well, is he high profile or was it part of a, misspent youth? I don't know. I don't know.
By the way, I misspoke. We have Ethan today instead of Sophia running the audio side. I'm sorry for all of that. To the listeners who are, I'm sure, very disappointed that they'll have to talk to Ethan when they call steam release instead of Sophia. But I want to make that clarification. Ethan does a good job. We just like to make sure he stays on his toes.
I do think, to your point yesterday, though, that you made about the Secret Service and how they did that, it is rather telling that in this digital world, that they didn't use some kind of digital means. They used the old school analog way of getting him out, right? I think that's telling, and I think it's smart. When everyone is over here doing something, do something completely different over here. That's a whole, non-technical thing. That's smart.
And look, that's an agency that caught a lot of grief, especially after the attempted assassination, in Pennsylvania, an agency that was under a lot of scrutiny. So, hey, man, look, I want to think it's cool when these agencies do what they're supposed to do, and it's kind of reassuring that they're still really good at the one job they have to be 100% on all the time, and that's protecting the president. Nice job.
Well, somebody said yesterday, aren't you mad, though, that they didn't tell the media? They lied. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not mad.
Listen, if you were on that plane, would you have wanted to, well, I mean, as a media member, I would have wanted to know and report on it, but as someone who had to fly home from Turkey, would you want to know any of that? No, I wouldn't, as a matter of fact. I'd like to just get home. We'll get into that with Stirewalt coming up in the second hour. Yesterday, Brad McElhinny joined us and got us updated on the soap opera we like to call As the Greenbrier Turns. As you know, the battle over the Greenbrier continues. There's a federal court deadline today. Lenders tied to Omnia Hotels are asking a federal judge to place the property under a court-appointed receiver to collect the over $300 million in debt. Meanwhile, the Justice family, that is, fighting back with lawsuits to keep their hotel and racing to finalize a massive refinancing deal, scrambling to keep the control of the state crown jewel. Caught in the middle of all of this is the Lottery Commission, the hotel casino license, and whether or not the casino will remain open. Does it have to close to get this deal done? MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny has been following this from the very first filing. He joins us again this morning. Brad, good morning.
Oh, hello. Good morning. And yes, if you joined us yesterday, there was some urgency to this new factor that the Greenbrier may determine that it would close its casino in lieu of a final decision by West Virginia Lottery to move ahead with a new ownership structure. Lottery's been reviewing that, and to the minds of the owners of the Greenbrier, that review had taken too long up against the other court deadlines. So when we left you, gentle listeners, there was this likelihood, a possibility that the casino at the Greenbrier was going to close, that 90 people or so would lose their jobs within a couple of months. Also, their health insurance, their benefits. Breathe kind of a sigh of relief, everybody. Because by the end of the day yesterday, the representatives of the Greenbrier, in particular Charleston attorney Steve Ruby, sent a formal memo to Lottery suggesting that there may be a workaround. They said, quote, "We would, of course, be very pleased to be able to close our refinancing and continue to operate the casino for a brief period while Lottery approval remains pending." Then the memo from Steve Ruby on behalf of the Greenbrier continued, "Please advise whether we can enter into an agreement to permit a transition period of that nature in order to maintain casino operations." So breathe a sigh of relief on that one. Maybe put it on your back burner or your medium burner. In the meantime, though, I really think that this deal is going to close today, possibly while we're doing the show, and have now gotten that from a couple of sources. It's my belief that bankers are currently signing documents and that there will be a status report filed in court by the end of today to say that the deal is moving forward, and that we may get some sort of news release or announcement sometime within the morning hours here. I'm going to keep half an eye on my email just in case it pops in there as we speak. But that would certainly be the headline. And It is an arrangement with the justices and Kennedy Lewis Investment Management. They would have to pay down the owner of the debt, White Sulphur Springs Holdings. Collectively, those are all the bankers who are signing documents this morning. And it puts a new position on this thing. It would, according to a letter yesterday from West Virginia Lottery, I think this is an important point, because the Greenbrier has been so prominent and such a focal point of Jim Justice's political persona. The letter from Lottery indicated that Kennedy Lewis is going to have 51% control of the property. So 1% more than half. They're gonna have, the operating control. The other thing is that, Kennedy Lewis is a banker, a distressed assets financial service. So what is lingering out there in my mind is, are they bringing in some sort of professional hotel management company to do the day-to-day operations of running the hotel and keeping it in good working order? So a lot of questions still out there, but the issue of the casino that we focused on yesterday has cooled off just a little bit.
I do want to turn back to the casino for a second, Brad. The letter on page 2 from the Lottery that I thought was a bit confusing, and maybe this is why Steve Ruby, in his letter yesterday, asked for clarification. That final sentence, when they talk about that the current situation in no way requires the closure of the casino at the Greenbrier, pending resolution of the financial transaction with Kennedy Lewis. Resolution pending that of the financial transaction. Well, if they close today, it's no longer pending. It's closed. It's executed. So does that mean after the deal is executed that there's some question of the casino, or am I interpreting that wrong?
I will tell you, I don't really know, but if I could broaden out just a little bit, I'm a little confused, honestly, about strategy, because yesterday I took the strategy to be playing hardball with the casino, to lay the groundwork to tell the judge, well, we haven't reached our deadline because Lottery is not cooperating on review of the casino license. I thought it was one thing laying the groundwork to tell the judge. The other was that I thought that it was playing hardball with Lottery. That they were saying, all right, if you don't get a move on, we're going to just close the casino. By the end of the day, that statement that you read where acting lottery director David Bradley says, there's actually no reason to close your casino. You don't have to do that while this is going on. I think that's true. But B, that is what Steve Ruby, the Charleston attorney, in his response letter latched onto to say, actually, if there is some way to keep the casino open, even on a temporary basis while we work through this thing, it is, we would like to do that. So I read it as backing off the hardcore position of just a day earlier. One, we know what we know, and we don't know what we don't know. And I had thought really that the casino is a moneymaker that is part of the bigger picture of owning the resort. It's a moneymaker in itself, and it's a lure for a lot of people who want something to do, for groups that book their conventions at the Greenbrier so that people can go and do something after they've sat in meetings all day. I thought it was clearly part of the financial picture for Kennedy Lewis. Now I am not quite as certain. I mean, if the $500 million backer could take it or leave it, as of yesterday, maybe it's not a central part of the picture. And the final question I have on that is, if they're bringing in some sort of professional hotel organization, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bringing in a professional casino operator. So how interested in, the hotel part of the picture, how interested are they in the casino?
It's kind of chuckling to myself here. Maybe it's like a car negotiation. I'll walk away from this deal right now. I don't need that casino. We'll walk away right now. I joke a little bit there, guys. But hey, broadly speaking, we've been watching this now, couple of months, several months here. This all play out over the summer. TJ, I'm really interested to get your opinion, Brad, as well, if you want to offer it. Is this best case scenario for the Justice family to have, Justice family of businesses here, to have a Kennedy Lewis come in. You retain, albeit a slight minority ownership in the Greenbrier. You get the casino deal worked out. Is this really best case scenario for the senator's family businesses here?
I believe so. Because at the end of the day, what do the justices know best? They know agriculture and they know coal. Yes, they've owned a hotel for a number of years, but I don't know that they're hotelier experts in the same fashion that an Omni would. Clearly, they didn't like something about Omni. The two couldn't get along. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you're able to get somebody like a Kennedy Lewis to come in, and I think Brad is spot on. I'm sure Kennedy Lewis, I would be willing to throw some money of my own on a bet that Kennedy Lewis, and I'm not a betting man, that Kennedy Lewis has some kind of management company that is experienced in running a hotel on a contract to come in and do that and start making the calls. So, you get this debt off of your books. You walk away with some cash, because you got to remember, I don't know how much cash he's going to walk away with, but what did Justice pay for the Greenbrier? $20 million back when?
Oh, yeah.
When he bought it. So there's going to be some liquidity, I would hope, right there out of that $500 million. Maybe not as much as it would be if you didn't have all this debt, obviously. But, yeah, man, to me, you can lay down tonight, have a good night's sleep. It's open. You improved it. You have a casino. People have their jobs. And now if you want to turn your attention to your political endeavors, you can, or you can
whatever
stay
they
in the
may
United
be,
States
right?
Senate. Yeah.
Any thoughts, Brad?
I think at this point, this is probably what they had to do. And it's a bonus to have potentially professional hotel management coming in. This has gone on for months, and the justices look like they're going to come out of this as a slight minority partner on the Greenbrier. What does that do to Jim Justice's political persona? I mean, maybe he winds up declaring victory anyway, but I don't think that they are going to wind up in the power seat on this deal when it concludes. I also, it looks to me from the outside looking in that a very similar deal was initially available with White Sulphur Springs Holdings with Omni Hotel and Resorts. I mean, how similar would that deal have been? And if cooler heads had prevailed initially, could you have saved yourselves 3 or 4 months of headaches without, winding up still in minority ownership of the flagship West Virginia resort? Maybe you could have, but at this point, I think it seems like the best deal available.
So what is the key? What are we watching for today, Brad? One more time.
Well, I mean, we may get an announcement hitting our inboxes during this show to say that the deal has gone through.
All right.
There will at least, I think, be a status report filed by end of day with federal court indicating that that's the case. Don't hold me fully to all that. Still possible. Everything falls apart. And then finally, if we get a second, the justices still have other multi-million-dollar debts that don't appear to be on track to be resolved by this deal. The Kentucky company, New London Tobacco Market, has been trying to intervene in this court case. They're owed something like $30 million dating back a decade. They've been trying to use this as a vehicle to collect on it. I don't think this deal takes them into account, so they may be trying to collect. Similarly, First Guarantee is owed something like $50 million. So the $500 million deal only stretches so far, and there's more financial peril ahead. Finally, get our time machine to 2 years from now. Are we then talking about a financial fight between the justices and Kennedy Lewis?
He's MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. You can read his updated story over at the website wvmetronews.com. Brad, if anything hits the inbox between now and noon, you know where to find us.
Okay, thanks.
We'll get to some of your texts, 304-TALK, 304, some news and notes as well. Bottom of the hour, Tom Susman will join us, former member of the House Delegate, former cabinet secretary in the Wise administration. We'll get his take on all of this. Bottom of the hour, Stirewalt in the second hour. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
The WVU Center for Reproductive Medicine is here to help your family grow. 1 in 8 couples has difficulty getting pregnant or maintaining a pregnancy. Our providers are prepared to offer the best in care and comfort with customized treatment plans. Our state-of-the-art facility on Pineview Drive offers a private and convenient location near Ruby Memorial Hospital. To learn more, visit wvumedicine.org/CRM.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season, the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart, only on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Dan Cava GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorold.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304, that's the text line. Good morning, guys, says the texter. Well, good morning to you. Sunday, August 16th, will mark 49 years since the world lost the king of rock and roll, Elvis Aaron Presley. So for those who would like to honor and remember the life and legacy of the man who remains the greatest selling solo artist of all time, please join millions of fans around the world tomorrow night during the 2026 Candlelight Vigil live, beginning at approximately 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on the Graceland live stream page or YouTube. All right, there's your public service announcement. Is it really 49 years since Elvis passed away? And he's still the king.
Still the king. Have you ever been to Graceland?
I
haven't.
I've been by it.
Okay.
Would have been in Memphis. My wife had to go to Memphis for work. This has been several years ago. I think she spent like 2 weeks down there, but she had time to kill. She's toured Graceland. Thought it was pretty neat. I was down there for, imagine this, TJ, covering a college football game.
Yeah.
And we didn't have time to stop, but we did go by Graceland, which is crazy thing. If you've ever go out there, it's of course, it's all developed now. That was out of the city when Elvis bought it. It was out of the country. It was outside of Memphis at the time. How much it's grown up. But no, I've never been there.
I mean, I'm not a big Elvis guy. I'd go check it out. I mean, why not?
You know who's a big Elvis guy? We've had him on the show a couple of times. Our culture and comedy correspondent from WVAQ, Jack Loger.
Oh, really?
Big Elvis fan. He's, in fact, one might call him a buff. as a matter of fact.
Does he have like Elvis memorabilia all over his house?
I don't. I've never been to his house. He very well could, for all I know. But he knows a lot of Elvis history. Not a big fan. You know the biopic that came out several years ago? Had Tom Hanks in it. Not a big fan because a lot of that was literary license, artistry.
Too much license for Jack?
Yeah, too much. Maybe we'll bring him on and talk about Elvis.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Texter says Graceland is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so I've heard. All right, Tom Susman's going to join us coming up after the news break. We'll get back into this conversation about the Greenbrier, this impact, and where we go from here. A little bit later on, Chris Stirewalt stops by. Boy, we got a lot to talk to Stirewalt about. The impact of the DSA on the primaries here in 2026. Caroline Leavitt's leaving the White House. The old switcheroo. What did he do on vacation? What do you think Chris Stirewalt does on vacation, by the way? You think he hits like historical sites, or he goes someplace remote, checks out, and just turns everything off for a week?
Plays Othello with his friends. I don't know what does.
We'll find out top of the hour. This is Talkline on Metro News from the Cove Insurance Studios. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all over the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Continued to be mindful and weather aware that potential of flooding and flash flooding will exist now. Seeing some rain and storms work across areas of Ohio and into West Virginia for the morning drive. Find your spot on the map. In the dark green is where that flood watch is. Includes Charleston, but a lot of us too. All of these are until 11 o'clock tonight for that flood watch. Total over the next 5 days, showers are generally likely and locally higher amounts are possible as well. Some flash flooding may be possible as soon as this morning for the morning drive, and also today and tonight up to a slight risk for isolated to widely scattered flash flooding. That's a possibility today. And also tomorrow, more risks into the second half of the weekend, and also a marginal risk of some isolated damaging winds possible with storms. Again, our weather model here is doing a pretty good job of placing the rain, potentially at 7 a.m. Showers and storms are generally going to be likely for our northern and western areas and pushing east through the day. And I'll watch for more development in the afternoon. Stationary front will attempt to transition into a warm front now. Fly super forecast, it starts at home. To our southeast, a lot of heat concerns today. Orlando and Tampa have highs in the upper 90s there. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Showers and storms are generally likely. For eastern areas, a likely chance of rain. Highs around the low to mid-80s for the eastern Panhandle. Some of our western areas, rain and storms are already observed for the morning drive. Be weather aware of excessive and heavy rain. To our south, highs range from the upper 70s to near 90. Near 90 in Huntington today. Again, a stationary front, which has been the main driver where the storms are going to fall, is going to likely transition into a warm front now. Will be more favored for rain today. Chances through the weekend, likely on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday may be dry. And then our next chance of rain next week on Thursday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
Hey, I take offense of that.
Why would you do that?
Because on midday, the last segment, the first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost at the end, a little boom boom?
You coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
I don't know where this came from.
Everybody.
I'm in another room, guys. I don't know.
Everybody.
Hey, Coop,
I'm just
what's up?
watching this.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
Steam release, bottom of the hour. A couple of high-profile criminal cases. The national outlets are following. Alex Murdaugh back in court for his retrial in South Carolina. They got a pretrial hearing today. Mangione, Luis Mangione might be pleading guilty today in federal court. Have you been following that this morning?
Yeah, I heard he was going to plead. And, well, I mean, I guess with that, there's some kind of deal worked out. I haven't heard the merits of the deal, what he would actually get.
I was only catching, again, here we are spreading bits and pieces, but apparently New York has some really unique double jeopardy laws in this. If he could plead guilty in the federal case, it might avoid a state trial on the same charges. It got really complicated very quickly. But the big takeaway there was there could be a plea deal in that case later today. So that's what the national folks are watching. And they're doing a cooking demonstration, tell you how slow the news is nationally today. So that's what's on the monitors here.
A lot of flooding in Indiana.
Oh, really?
On our screen. Yeah, Indiana. Man, I'm looking at a minivan. Somebody didn't turn around. Always turn around, folks. Always turn around.
304-TALK, 304, the text line, 800-765-8255. We've been talking about the Greenbrier. We're watching a federal court deadline today on that possible financing deal with Kennedy Lewis to get completed. What does that mean for the casino license? Does the casino stay open? Could they get a variance? What's the Lottery Commission going to do? Tom Susman joins us from the Encova Insurance Studios in Charleston. He's been in public relations. He's been director of PEIA, director of Insurance and Retirement Services. He served in the House of Delegates. There's not much Tom Susman hasn't done, let's be honest. He joins us this morning. Hey, Tom.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Does that cover it all? I was trying to find a quick title for you, but you've had too many.
Well, I'm kind of like a jack of all trades and master of none.
Well, you fit into radio just fine then. That's everybody in radio.
Absolutely. You know, I'll interview somebody. I have a radio station in Ravenswood, and they'll be talking about something, and I'll have a little bit of knowledge of it, so I at least sound intelligent. Maybe not knowledgeable, but intelligent. How's that sound?
That sounds fine to me. So what do you make of this whole – we've been watching this Greenbrier saga play out all summer long. We think we might get at least some sort of a resolution today. What's your take on this whole situation?
The thing that's kind of troubling for me is the whole issue of the lottery license not transferring. I mean, if you have a chance to make this thing work out, why would you not go ahead and call an emergency meeting of the Lottery Commission? I read the lottery director's or the acting director's letter, and it's clearly a political letter, not a legal letter. And I'm just kind of curious that, you know, the value to the state and the millions of dollars that not only come from on-premise, but I think MGM online lottery is part of this deal, the gambling.
MGM grant, yep.
Yeah, when we're starting to go into sports betting here with football kicking off. You know, why wasn't the Lottery Commission talking to Ruby all through this process? I mean, they look shocked that these documents showed up on the 5th of August in that letter. I looked back at the emergency reason for calling a meeting, and one of those is basically, you know, does it cause financial harm to a state agency or to those that work with it? And it says that imminent material financial loss or imminent substantial harm to a public agency, its employees, or members of the public it serves. Well, I mean, if we lose millions of dollars from that casino, and the reality is it will open back up if Kennedy Lewis or whatever the name of this company is takes it over, because the state needs that money. Why not work together, call an emergency meeting? But I think that's the difference between having a governor who's an entrepreneur or a leader like Donald Trump, who's an entrepreneur who can pretty much make a decision, or you have someone who's an attorney and they're trained to look at things through the lawsuit eyes. And that letter is a lawyer's letter. It's not an entrepreneur trying to save a business and employees' jobs.
I feel bad a bit for the Lottery Commission. I'll tell you why. Look, we're all human. You can't escape the potential political undertones of all of this.
Absolutely.
I wrote today, like, I don't think Senator Justice and Governor Morrisey are pals. I don't think that shocks anyone. What, if anything, should the state be doing to make sure this is an arm's length transaction? I mean, should this come out of the Lottery Commission at all? Should the governor's office stay out of it? How should all of that work?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're hearing on a number of fronts, not just this front, but everything passes through the governor's desk, and he has to put his touch on it. And in situations like this, I mean, the governor's going to be involved. I mean, Governor Wise was involved on major deals. I guarantee you Jim Justice and Joe Manchin were. But those folks had the ability to make quick decisions and figure out and make a determination and move forward. I think the governor's office is treating this like a lawsuit. And, lawyers always say, well, this case is not ripe for settlement. And I'm sure, TJ, you've heard that. You've been in business. And as a business person, an entrepreneur, that drives you nuts. This is a situation where you've got to think like an entrepreneur. You got to think like a Donald Trump. You may not like some of the things he does, but it doesn't take him long to make a decision, and he looks out for the best. Now, maybe you say as a condition of this, you pay your back taxes to the state. Maybe you make sure that
Fair.
the CVB is in Greenbrier County, if they're owed money, they're caught up. But this letter from the Lottery Commission, I was kind of shocked. It's like, oh my gosh, there's this deal coming, and we haven't had time to look at it. You clear the decks. You know this thing's coming down, and you have your staff to begin to work for it because the state has a pecuniary interest in that casino. The state has a pecuniary interest in keeping those people employed. The state has a pecuniary interest in making sure that the reservations at the hotel can be met. So, I mean, this is not just like, I'm sorry, you're going to open up a store and we may or may not get to you.
Yeah.
Tom, I like your characterization. It was better than the one I was going to make. That this is a lawyer's reaction. Because my first, it may be naive, I always couch these, maybe naive, maybe I'm looking for the best in people. My first reaction was this is being way overly cautious because you're between a rock and a hard spot. If you call an emergency meeting, then you're going to be accused of treating this differently because Senator Justice is involved in this. This is the Greenbrier, this is Jim Justice. Oh, you're giving them special treatment. But if you don't, and you go, oh, no, we're going to be transparent. We're going to follow law. We're not going to be pressured. That seems like something that your attorney would tell you to do in a situation. So your characterization, Tom, I like that characterization because it makes a lot of sense that an attorney would step in and say, no, be cautious. This is what we're going to do. We're going to avoid X, Y, and Z.
I worked for a client when I was doing governmental affairs work and lobbying, and he was up in Wheeling, and he was looking to fill a position one time. And I said, well, here's this person. And they were an attorney. And he says, no, because they're trained to think like an attorney. Now, my attorney friends are going to hang me as I walk down Capitol Street for lunch today. But he says, they think like attorneys. We hire attorneys for advice, but we need entrepreneurs to make the decision. We need people who operate business to make the decision. Now, the advice for the attorney is extremely important. But in this situation, it looks like the governor is acting as an attorney and not as the chief executive of a state that has a pecuniary interest in keeping this resort open and keeping this casino open.
Best general counsel I ever worked with was an accountant and an entrepreneur for many years before he became an attorney.
Yeah, and
he's like, get a term sheet and then call me. And that's the way, that's the way entrepreneurs get a term sheet, and then the lawyers can work out the details after that, but get a term sheet first.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand that from the lottery's perspective, they don't want to get caught in the middle of a political situation between the governor and the senator. But the reality is, at some point, cooler heads needs to step in here. There's no reason there's not an emergency meeting of the Lottery Commission. I think it meets it. I've seen a lot weaker calls for emergency meetings in my time in state government that kind of scratch my head. But this is a situation where, if you're trying to put a deal together to save jobs, because economic development's not only bringing jobs, but it's retaining jobs, then I think there's a reason to move forward. Now, let's be clear. Jim Justice has brought a lot of this on himself and the families and everything like that. So I'm not trying to say, well, he's clear here. But if we get a new person to come in and take over that gem, which is what it is, and can protect it, I think it's worth an emergency meeting of the Lottery Commission.
You're a business guy. I don't want to taint your thoughts, so I won't say anything. But what's your attitude on debt? You think Jim Justice ever sits around and says, man, if I didn't use so much leverage, I wouldn't be in this spot?
I'm not a big fan of debt.
Me either.
But, there's the old saying that, if you owe $100,000, the bank owns you. If you own $500 million, you own the bank.
That's very true.
And I think that in this situation, he's been able to do it. And, large corporations and billionaires are able to do things that a small business guy like myself with 3 or 4 employees, we just can't do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let me pose this question to you, gentlemen. In sports, coaches will treat all of their players equally most of the time, but there are certain standout players that you might make an exception here or there, or You will expect more out of them. You treat them a little bit different is what I'm getting at. When it comes to business, in a situation like this, the Lottery Commission, for instance, needs to treat everybody equally. But this is the Greenbrier. This isn't your average, chain hotel. It's not your average small business. This is the Greenbrier. Does that alone warrant special consideration, given the magnitude of what this business is, both economically and what it represents?
Well, I think there's two things. One is that, yes, it's the Greenbrier, and we want to keep this historical hotel, but there are only, 4 or 5 casinos in the state, and they generate a ton of money for the state. So unlike the little lottery around the corner, little lottery slot machine place, they're not a big individually submitter of revenue to the state. I'm sure that business owner thinks they are. But when you take Hollywood Casino, Tri-State, or Mardi Gras, or Wheeling, or those are large producers of revenue to the state. So those do require special consideration, given the fact you're basically in business with those folks, and the bulk of the money comes to the state.
I think you're spot on. I think the other part of it, Dave, is, this is summer meeting season, and you have organizations from all over the United States that come to the Greenbrier for their annual meeting. The Brotherhood of the Organization of Insurance Agents of the Northeast, which I hope doesn't exist. If it
you're gonna get a phone call.
I know.
Are you dissing on our insurance organization?
I'm just saying they're coming. They're coming to the Greenbrier.
Yeah,
and one of the reasons they do, they could go anywhere. They could go to they could go down to Palm Beach at the Breakers, or they could go to all these other historic resorts. And the casino is one of the amenities that they make their choice on. Now, all of a sudden, if that's not available, they call up and say, you know what, we're supposed to be there in September. If you don't have a casino, that's a material change. We're not coming.
Yeah, or they say next year we're not coming.
Yeah.
And that casino is like the most special casino. I mean, I've been to a lot of casinos. I don't gamble a whole lot. I'm like $200 and done. But that casino is a special attribute in the way it's set up. And you got to give Justice credit. It's a classy operation as opposed to some of the other casinos that are out there, and folks, that's part of what they want when they come to that operation.
Feels like going to a high-end place is what it feels like.
Yeah,
I almost feel, guys, I think it's worthy of asking the question too, because if Justice wasn't a part of this, and Kennedy Lewis was someone we'd never heard of, but they're coming in here and they're dropping $500 million, how would we be treating Kennedy Lewis versus the stuff they're wrapped up in now? I mean, I don't think they should pay for the sins of the justices, real or perceived, is what I'm saying.
I think Brad McElhinny would be at the Greenbrier right now at a press conference announcing the new deal to save the Greenbrier.
TJ, that's a great point, and we haven't really talked that out at all. You've got a company here who's willing to essentially invest $500 million in West Virginia, in the Greenbrier, in the crown jewel here. And we haven't even touched that aspect of this because, look, Jim Justice has an outsized persona.
Sure.
Yeah. He becomes, and certainly he should be the main focus of this story, but that's a good point that we haven't even touched on.
I mean, like I said earlier, job retention is just as important part of economic development as it is bringing in new jobs. Because if you can retain what you've got, and then you can build on it. But, you could see a situation where this thing deteriorates if it doesn't come together because they can't get the lottery license. What happens? Does it end up in Chapter 11? There's a whole lot more that could come down the pike as it relates to all these businesses. And if you could spin off the Greenbrier and get it protected and save that crown jewel, I think if I were the governor of the state, I'd be doing everything I could to make that happen as soon as humanly possible.
He's Tom Susman, public relations, insurance. He's been in the House of Delegates. He's a radio guy. All the above. We'll come up with a nice, tidy title for you one day, Tom.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Renaissance man.
We can go with that. Tom Susman, Renaissance man. Hey, appreciate the perspective. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Take a break. Get to some text. 304-TALK-304. That's the text line. You can always give us a call. 800-765-TALK. 800-765-8255. This is Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and Get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
At Daniels Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniels is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniels.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
What's wilder than the West Virginia Lottery's new $20 Wild Red 7 scratch-off? The chance to win 10 times your prize and a $70,000 top prize. You could go wild with all the possibilities. Pick up your Wild Red 7s ticket at your favorite West Virginia Lottery retailer today. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Stirewalt going to join us coming up top of the hour. Let's get some text while we can have a dialogue. 304 Talk 304. Texter says, I saw the Greenbrier on the news last night. All I have to say is the decor is tacky. Why do wealthy people have the worst taste in interior design? You're talking to I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're talking to the two worst guys you could about interior design.
Whatever. I don't know anything. The only thing I will say, like the Dorothy Draper stuff sometimes in the rooms is a bit much for me, so I pay a little extra to get the one without the crazy wallpaper just because I get nauseous.
That's fair enough. Best thing for the Greenbrier would be to get it away from the Justice family. Maybe some bills would be paid. Well, I mean, 51% is a controlling interest, and that's what Kennedy Lewis would have in this deal. So, okay. And like you said, TJ, it seems to be best case scenario for the family. And look, Jim Justice can still be the persona, can still be the face of that resort when you're talking about ownership, but there would be obviously Kennedy Lewis and their management team running the place.
It's open, added a casino, paid $20 million for it. Whatever I clear, probably going to be more than the $20 million I paid. Where's the downside?
Isn't that amazing? That place sold for $20 million when he bought it.
Yeah, Railroad wanted rid of it.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, but nonetheless,
different time. I mean, you know, they were still running it like a 5-star resort that was still jam packed. When I mean, sometimes you'd have 30 people there a night, and you'd have 500 working there. I mean, you know what I mean? It was just, but yeah, same thing. Yeah, no.
Texter says, good for David Bradley and the Lottery Commission not to bow down to Jim Justice's bullying tactics. All he was doing was follow the law by checking this company out. Once again, Justice thinks he should have special consideration just because he's Jim Justice. Pay your bills, Jim, says the texter. That's kind of what I was alluding to in that conversation with Tom Susman, TJ. you're danged if you do, danged if you don't. To Tom's point, this is the Greenbrier. There are jobs on the line. Figure it out. But if you do that, then you're going to be accused of special treatment because it's Jim Justice. You're between a rock and a hard spot if you're the lottery.
I have much sympathy for David Bradley because you're in between a governor and a United States senator. I mean, come on. Who asks for that?
That's one of those, I did not sign up for this, guys.
No. And he's, I mean, by all intents and everything I've seen, he does a great job running the lottery. And, maybe he breathes a sigh of relief, too. He can just get back to running a lottery.
Texter says this Kennedy Lewis deal for the Greenbrier is just awful. Justice has not been able to pay his debts for at least 6 years, and soon an inexperienced property manager will own the Greenbrier. Wish Omni would have won the day. Sad day for West Virginia.
Do you know who the property manager is? Because I don't. I know who's going to buy it. I don't know who they're going to run or hire, rather, to run it. So wait and see.
Get to some more text, 304-TALK 304. Tell you what's coming up in hour number 2. It's Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios. Back in a moment.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown!
304-TALK 304. Hey, Dave and TJ, have Tom on again. He sounds intelligent. Kidding aside, he seemed to have some really great insight. All right. We'll have our people call his people.
He's done a lot of stuff, though. He really has.
Yeah, I was trying. I wasn't. I mean, it was half kidding when I said I was trying to figure out a nice, concise title for him. But he's been director of PEIA. He's done insurance. He was in the WISE administration. He served in the House of Delegates. He owns radio stations. He's done a lot of stuff. It's what we look for. People who know a lot. The saying goes, you got to know a little about a lot and then a lot about a little to be successful in life. 304-TALK 304. I got to say, I know you guys have stories that you have to report on, but I'm really sick of hearing about the Greenbrier, just as much as I was tired about hearing about PEIA constantly. Can we please just wait until there is a conclusion to this case to talk about it, says the texter. Texter into the secret bat phone. I am the secret purchaser of the Greenbrier. Press release coming within the hour. Just wanted to let you know. All right, we'll wait for the press release to drop. Didn't know I knew such important people.
Well, I mean, Kennedy Lewis is just the front runner. It doesn't mean it's all their money. I mean, they pull money together. So, I mean.
Stirewalt's going to join us coming up top of the hour. Boy, we got a lot to talk to him about. DSA, Caroline Leavitt leaving the White House, the switcheroo, what he did on vacation. We'll get into all that. By the way, TJ, leaving work yesterday, driving through downtown Morgantown. It's move-in weekend here now.
Fun.
Saw a lot of very tired, worn-out-looking dads walking the streets of Morgantown yesterday. You could tell they'd been up early, had moved into whatever dorm apartment they moved into, and their reward was to go someplace to eat, but they were a good 10 yards behind mom and the kid walking down the road. Total giveaway. Good luck. Good luck, guys.
Do you really need all that stuff? That's what I would say.
They're U-Hauls. TJ, they're U-Hauls moving in. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Continue to be mindful and weather aware that potential of flooding and flash flooding will exist now. Seeing some rain and storms work across areas of Ohio and into West Virginia for the morning drive. Find your spot on the map. In the dark green is where that flood watch is. Includes Charleston, but a lot of us too. All of these are until 11 o'clock tonight for that flood watch. Total over the next 5 days, showers are generally likely and locally higher amounts are possible as well. Some flash flooding may be possible as soon as this morning for the morning drive, and also today and tonight up to a slight risk for isolated to widely scattered flash flooding. That's a possibility today. And also tomorrow, more risks into the second half of the weekend, and also a marginal risk of some isolated damaging winds possible with storms. Again, our weather model here is doing a pretty good job of placing the rain, potentially at 7 a.m. Showers and storms are generally going to be likely for our northern and western areas and pushing east through the day. And I'll watch for more development in the afternoon. Stationary front will attempt to transition into a warm front now. Fly Super forecast, it starts at home. To our southeast, a lot of heat concerns today. Orlando and Tampa have highs in the upper 90s there. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Showers and storms are generally likely. For eastern areas, a likely chance of rain. Highs around the low to mid-80s for the eastern Panhandle. Some of our western areas, rain and storms are already observed for the morning drive. Be weather aware of excessive and heavy rain. To our south, highs range from the upper 70s to near 90. Near 90 in Huntington today. Again, a stationary front, which has been the main driver where the storms are going to fall, is going to likely transition into a warm front now. Will be more favored for rain today. Chances through the weekend, likely on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday may be dry. And then our next chance of rain next week on Thursday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
MetroNews Talkline already in progress. Hour number 2 made it to a Friday. It's a steam release Friday, of course. Bottom of the hour, your chance to vent whatever is troubling you. You can release that steam and you'll go into the weekend unfettered. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. That's also the number for steam release, of course. 800-765-8255. Text the show, 304-TALK-304. Say good morning once again to all of our great radio affiliates in and around the state of West Virginia, or if you're watching in on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, YouTube Live as well. Don't forget, download the Metro News TV app to your mobile device and smart TV. Get this program and other Metro News television programming, including less than 2 weeks away, the SSAC Kickoff Classic. We'll have that for you on Metro News TV. Cameron at Clay Battelle to get the high school football season started. 2 weeks from today, the season officially kicks off. And also the 25th season of Metro News High School Game Night with Fred Persinger and Dave Jecklin on, well, more than these radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. They'll have scores, interviews, the whole 9 yards after your local broadcast until midnight every Friday night, leading right up to the state championships in December. Football season's here. I'm excited. I'm ready for it. Good morning, TJ.
Good morning. Man, that's hard to believe about game night. I remember the night that went on the air. I was working my shift at WVAQ, 7 to midnight. Freddie and Jacqueline doing it for the first time. Everybody running around. Had all kinds of people. Josh Copen, there's a name you haven't heard in a while. Running
For
around
good
trying
reason.
to... Oh, my goodness, Dave. Trying to spearhead all these people to get scores everywhere. I mean, it was fun to watch, man. That was a big night in the Greer building.
There are stories you would have to call a gas station to get the score at the Clay Battelle game out in Blacksville. You would have to call, I think there's a 7-Eleven, if it's still a 7-Eleven out there, that was perfectly situated so the clerk working the register could look out, see the scoreboard, and they could report the score back to game night.
Yeah. And they did a fantastic job. I mean, worried that they had them all, man. All, I think, by 10:45 that night.
And that was before, that's the days before you could just get online and, track most of these down. You had to call gas stations.
Yeah, that's awesome.
25th season for Fred and Dave starting 2 weeks from tonight. Chris Stirewalt's the politics editor for The Hill and NewsNation, host of The Hill Sunday on NewsNation and the CW, a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, author of books on politics and media, and he's back, rested and relaxed, and he joins us on Talkline. Morning, Chris.
I was going to reminisce about high school football coverage in West Virginia, and then you guys didn't, and I realized how old you sounded, so I'm just glad. Well, we didn't have any gosh dang old internet, I tell you right here. I had to get a mule train what bring them scores up from man. Okay.
Man, that was pretty good, Stirewalt.
It's not all by accident, gentlemen. It's not all by accident.
Hey, if you use that on your Sunday show, that voice, I'll give you a quarter.
Give me a quarter? I mean,
Yeah.
I probably have. There's a reason I lose jobs. Like, it's not for nothing.
Oh, come on.
Do you ever, this happens to, we live here in West Virginia. This happens to me, Chris, when I'm anchoring or sometimes during the show. But sometimes I call it the hillbilly slipping out. It's a vowel. Sometimes you draw out an I. Does that ever happen to you on the air where the West Virginia comes out?
I'm from the real West Virginia. I'm from Wheeling.
Oh, yeah.
And the Ohio Valley will sometimes come out a little bit while you're talking. Like, you'll get a little bit of the anat will come out on you. But generally, I try to maintain in a basic general American dialect.
That's that upper Ohio Valley dialect that comes out. That's upper Ohio Valley.
Anat.
Chris Stirewalt joining us. All right, we got a number of things we actually want to get to today. Let's start up in Wisconsin and Michigan. A lot being made about the DSA. Francesca Hong. Was there too much made about that heading into those primaries this week?
I mean, you got to do something. It's August. I'm sympathetic. The primary calendar has slowed down most. I think we're probably, this is just a guesstimate, but we're probably about 2/3 of the way through the primaries. And there are some big contests left, but Michigan was sort of the last of the big uns. And so you got to talk about something. And this is sort of like a mannequin in a tailor shop, a tailor's dummy that you're just going to hang clothes on and try. And in Wisconsin, you have Francesca Hong, who a former hipster ramen chef turned state representative who was leading in the Democratic nomination to be Wisconsin governor because the rest of the party was divided 6 or 7 different ways. And so she's a Democratic socialist, and she was getting more than 1/3 of the vote, and more than 1/3 of the vote in the polls was enough to put her way out in front. And it fit a narrative, which is Abdul El Sayed in Michigan, there across Lake Michigan, had won. He's not a self-described Democratic socialist, but he is he trudges that road with some Democratic socialists, and Zoran Mamdani, who is both the far left and the far right's favorite politician to talk about. And so there's this narrative that it's out there and this is happening. And so I think people hung those clothes on the Wisconsin race.
Chris, I've thought about DSA as, oh no, we can't have that. I'm starting to reconsider and say, you know what? Yeah, give them a little bit of crazy. Let them see what it's like, and this can be done and over with when it fails, and we move on.
Well, that's certainly what Democrats said about the Tea Party. That is certainly what a decade ago Democrats said about Donald Trump and the Tea Party that brought him to us. Here's the thing about politics. I can tell you why none of them can win, and yet someone will, right? In a duopoly, you have these perverse incentives. And I think right now there are a lot of Republicans who are like, good, bring on the Democratic Socialists. Let people see. And they may be unhappy to find out that in a system with two parties as heinous and ridiculous as these two parties, that heinous and ridiculous people will win.
Why do you think whatever message the DSA is throwing out there, and I've seen all the stuff, abolish the Senate, want to abolish this, that, and the other, but there's something that's resonating, especially with the younger crowd, the 21 to 35 crowd. What is it that resonates with that younger audience?
Well, I mean, you could go hear Warren McGraw at the Racine Labor Day rally, and you could get a lot of the same stuff. These are not new ideas. The idea that the reason that you do not have the things that you want to have is because corporate interests, greedy people in other places have stacked the deck against you, and you deserve. It is your right to have a living wage. It is your right to have quality health care. It is your right to do these things. And populism, economic populism. So there's a couple of pieces. There's the cultural piece. There's the culture war piece. And that's the loser for democratic socialists, talking about Israel and talking about trans and talking about that kind of stuff. That's a loser. Where the working class electorate, which is to say most of the electorate in the United States is culturally conservative and fiscally irresponsible, right? That's where they're at. They say Robert Byrd wasn't in the Senate for 100 million years for no reason. The appealing thing to voters is to say to them, I will give you free money and I will hurt the people who you think are bad. And I will protect you if you feel culturally insecure or culturally upset. And that was the New Deal coalition. That's the coalition the Republicans are trying to build right now. Do you know that we have a $40 trillion national debt?
Oh, I know.
And do you know that in the month, I believe, of July, we accrued our deficit at the highest rate ever?
Oh, I know.
And we're really cooking, baby. And we're cooking because Republicans agree. And they say, we also want to be culture warrior, you-know-whats, and we want to give free stuff. Right? We want to we're going to give it away. We're going to slosh that money out there and we're going to do that stuff. The unfortunate thing is that if both parties are dominated by fiscally irresponsible culture warriors, we will go over Niagara. And that's where you have to hope that there is a coalition of people who love the Constitution on the left and people who love the Constitution on the right, who are willing to stand up and stand next to the fire when we get up to it.
One of my favorite sayings in life is the first guy through the wall always gets bloody. The second guy, not so much. When you think about
you're a cheerful guy. That's one of your favorite. That's one of your favorite sayings in life is about walls and bloody guys.
Well, from a business perspective, let somebody else take the hit on the nose. Anyway,
I know.
In that line of thinking, though, the DSA movement, you get it through people through, and you talk about, oh well, people may like that, fine, but does that make something like what a Joe Manchin wants to do easier and more palatable to actually get done if some other guy knocks the wall down and then he can walk through later?
Well, I think take the curious case of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. There was a time when she was perceived among Democrats and in the broader electorate as a wild-eyed radical.
Mm-hmm.
She's not, you wouldn't exactly call her a moderate now, but she's certainly more mainstream. She's not out there endorsing in Grand Platinum. She's not immunizing the eschaton. She's not doing that stuff. She's playing nice. She's trying to get along with her fellow Democrats. And now there are these people who are farther to her left who make her seem more palatable. So it's sort of like if you expand the Overton window of what is acceptable discourse and what are acceptable ideas to talk about. There are things in the Republican Party, for example, that prior to the populist revolt in the GOP, no one would have you remember the 2012 autopsy the Republicans did, where they said we're too mean to Hispanic voters and we're too gross toward women. And they were like, Donald Trump, let's go. Things that were considered unacceptable before seem moderate when compared to something else. So I think to your point about moderate Democrats, there's a struggle going on in the Democratic Party. You don't have any in West Virginia, but in the broader country, I can tell you that there is a struggle going on about I'm not saying Donald Trump is Saddam Hussein, but I am saying that after Saddam Hussein got pulled out of his spider hole, there are a lot of old scores that had to be settled in Iraq. And that was the civil war that our troops unfortunately got caught in. And the Democratic Party has been living in fear of Donald Trump for so long that as the fear of Trump passes from the scene, there are scores that are going to be settled, and they're going to have this civil war. They're going to fight it out, and it's already underway, and it's going to get very intense in the 2028 nominating process.
Chris, did Democrats learn that woke? I think AOC called it woke 1.0.
Woke 1.
Yeah.
Yep. Blaming
all the problems on cultural concerns. Because everybody's racist, people were able to look out and go, my neighbor's not racist. I'm not. And realize that was a losing message. And that's why we've seen more of this shift toward, capitalism's the problem. That's where it's the greedy industrialist, J.G. Pennypacker, that is the person. That guy. That's the guy. He's the person to blame. Is this the shift in narrative?
He and Mr. Peanut just getting together and laughing at all the pores. I guess I think about it this way. When you think, football season's about to start. And who does WVU have for their first game?
Coastal Carolina.
Okay. So is that the Chanticleers?
Yes.
Okay.
Very well done.
When WVU plays the Chanticleers and WVU wins, I assume they better. If they win, people who had previously been skeptical about the potential for the program are suddenly going to say, you know what? Actually, ellipsis, this is why we're going to beat Oklahoma State or whatever. Democrats saw what was happening in 2020 in the wake of the George Floyd murder. The George Floyd murder was the kickoff for something that had been simmering since Ferguson, Missouri, 2014. And with the murder of George Floyd, there was going to be a reckoning, and everything was going to change, and everything was going to be different, and they were going to sweep away, and trans became part of it because it was like the pandemic is here, social justice reckoning is upon us, everything will change. Joe Biden's foolish self got swept up into that trash. It became, there was a belief that everything was different, and January 6th was part of it too. So woke 1 is a cop-out, but we can't deny that in American public life, in 2020 and 2021, things got extraordinarily stupid. Things got extraordinarily weird and violent and stupid and choppy. And people on the right did bad things, people on the left did bad things, but a lot of it was born out of, here's the thing. There's a lot of ruin in a nation. And people have assumed again and again and again that no, this time it's it. But what's the reality about civic life, public life in America? It's like being in a marriage. You're going to wake up the next day and you're going to be right there with that same person. You're going to be right there with that same person. So no matter how zippy your rejoinder was the evening before, here we are together again, and we're going to have to figure out how to get it all done today. But the temptation that Democrats and progressives succumbed to in 2020 and 2021 was that the immuniton had been eschaton had been immunized, and everything was about to change. And then 2024 happened, and they said, "Oh, you weren't ready for that." Okay, my B.
Let me offer both of you something to kind of wrap this up, a respite that I experienced yesterday. The algorithm, I was mindlessly scrolling. It fed me the Reagan ad, "It's Morning in America" again. I watched it 22 times. I watched it 22 times.
You're Reagan maxing.
Yeah.
You're Reagan maxing.
And then I felt better.
You're basically Jack Donaghy at this point. This is amazing.
It's Morning in America again.
It's a good. Hey, look, the ways that America has gotten out of these scrapes in the past is we had to get lucky. If you are a believer, you will believe what I do, which is that we have been providentially gifted. But no one in 1976, nobody in 1975 was like, I think the United States is about to embark on a massively successful 30-year run. We're going to defeat the Soviets. We're going to change the way the world lives, learns, and communicates. Everything is going to be dramatically different. Everybody's going to get a lot richer. Everything's going to get better. That wasn't the vibe. But when what do they say? When the teacher is ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
He's Chris Stirewalt, politics editor for The Hill and NewsNation, host of The Hill Sunday on NewsNation, senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, best-selling author. We're out of time. We didn't even get to the Air Force One switcheroo. Maybe another day, Chris.
All right, fellas. Have you a good weekend.
You as well. Chris Stirewalt. Catch him on NewsNation Sunday morning. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studio.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season, the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart. Only on Metro News Television.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Dan Cava GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorold.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
We didn't even get to ask him about where he vacationed, what he did on vacation while he was gone. So I guess we can just make up whatever we want now.
He's a pretty private guy. I don't know if he'd want to talk about that.
Maybe. I just assume he was bike riding with Hoppy across the open plains on their 10-speed Tour de France style bikes. Remember the old, you know which ones I'm talking about? The old thin wheel roadsters. Got the curved handlebars.
Steering wheel, yeah. Steering wheel.
You know what? Steering wheel. That's the story I'm going to go with. Stirewalt and Hoppy cruising America on bicycles.
What do you think they do when they get a flat?
Call AAA. Steam releases coming up. It's your chance to vent, get it all off your chest as we head into the weekend. Peeking up at the national networks, they are, all of them, it looks like, covering the Luigi Mangione hearing. And since they can't get cameras in the courtrooms, TJ, they're doing the lower thirds, and on the scroll, he's sitting straight up, hands in his lap, staring straight ahead at the judge. Judge explaining, okay, we got it. We get it. You got to do what you got to do in this business sometimes, but keep looking over documents with the defense. Yeah. So keeping an eye on that up in New York. Steam release next. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here, continued to be mindful and weather aware that potential of flooding and flash flooding will exist now. Seeing some rain and storms work across areas of Ohio and into West Virginia for the morning drive. Find your spot on the map. In the dark green is where that flood watch is, includes Charleston, but a lot of us too. All of these are until 11 o'clock tonight for that flood watch. Total over the next 5 days, showers are generally likely and locally higher amounts are possible as well. Some flash flooding may be possible as soon as this morning for the morning drive, and also today and tonight up to a slight risk for isolated to widely scattered flash flooding. That's a possibility today. And also tomorrow, more risks into the second half of the weekend, and also a marginal risk of some isolated damaging winds possible with storms. Again, our weather model here is doing a pretty good job of placing the rain, potentially at 7 a.m. Showers and storms are generally going to be likely for our northern and western areas and pushing east through the day. And I'll watch for more development in the afternoon. Stationary front will attempt to transition into a warm front now. Fly Super forecast, it starts at home. To our southeast, a lot of heat concerns today. Orlando and Tampa have highs in the upper 90s there. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Showers and storms are generally likely. For eastern areas, a likely chance of rain. Highs around the low to mid-80s for the eastern Panhandle. Some of our western areas, rain and storms are already observed for the morning drive. Be weather aware of excessive and heavy rain. To our south, highs range from the upper 70s to near 90. Near 90 in Huntington today. Again, a stationary front, which has been the main driver where the storms are going to fall, is going to likely transition into a warm front now. Will be more favored for rain today. Chances through the weekend, likely on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday may be dry. And then our next chance of rain next week on Thursday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
Hey, I take offense to that.
Why would you do that? Because on midday, the last segment, the first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy. You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost at the end, a little boom boom? Do you coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
I don't know where this came from.
Everybody.
I'm in another room, guys. I don't know.
Everybody. Hey, Coop,
I'm just
what's up?
watching this.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
Made it to a Friday. Last 30 minutes of the week, they always belong to you.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
That's right. It's time to release your steam. It's your weekly chance to vent, get it all off your chest as you head into the weekend. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255, 304-TALK, 304. Whatever it is that has irritated you this week. Maybe it's something we said. Maybe it's something you heard. Maybe it's something somebody else said to you. Maybe you ran out of beer and cigarettes. You need to release your steam before you go into the weekend. You know what? You'll have a better weekend because of it. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. You can text your steam to 304-TALK 304. And remember, we have just a few guidelines we like to follow according to the bylaws set forth by the previous host. Number one, we cannot respond to your steam. So you can steam about whatever you want, whoever you want within reason, and we may not respond. You can steam about current host, past host, and future host. We just ask, please, you keep it tight, don't get us fired, and don't get us sued. Otherwise, it's all yours. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. You can text the show, 304-TALK 304 to release your steam. We start on the phones, and we start in Fish Creek with Junior. Hey, Junior.
Morning, TJ, little guy. How the hell are you, boys? I'm telling you, I'm angry. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. This rain, oh, my God, it's all right. I tell you, that creek is angry, muddy, and I can be rapid, you know. I'm tired of it. We need a little bit of dry weather. My garden's soggy. Woo, I don't know. But what I'm really worried about, I ain't seen no pictures of food that Howie Monroe's been eating. Has anyone seen any? I'm really concerned. I hope he's okay, because, I mean, you never see a day without him eating food or something, so let's pray for him. I hope he's okay. And TJ, we need someone up willing. Come on up, boy. We could use you. And another thing, Hoppy, hang it up.
Thank you, Junior. Have a great weekend. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Of course, you can text your steam to 304-TALK 304. Let's get to a couple of those text steams.
All right, here we go. The Kennedy-Lewis deal. Oh, nope, sorry. Already read that one. Error on the host. Best thing for the Greenbrier would be to get it away from the Justice family. Maybe some bills would get paid, but alas, it never seems to be the case with anything he, talking about Jim Justice, touches. 304-TALK 304. Dave, Jim Justice has been given way too much special attention. My humble opinion, says the texter. I'm not sure that steam on Tom Susman is allowed. I'll just leave that there. Not going to do that. 304-TALK 304 is the text line. Working my way up here. Yes, MAGA brought it all. MAGA brought it all, says the texter. Corporate greed is the biggest problem in America. They love their socialist subsidy money, too. You say it's great that an out-of-state investor wants to give money to keep the Greenbrier open, but these investors will want payment on their loan. Yes, Justice bought it for $20 million, but with all the debt he has accumulated on the Greenbrier, that went to properties up other Justice interests, or to prop those up. It's obvious none of the debt dollars went to upkeep on Greenbrier property. So why would anyone think his business style will change? Justice has developed a skill of holding up payments to businesses he owes money to, and non-payment of taxes, and submitting West Virginia 6-cent sales taxes. But nothing ever touches him in punishments for breaking a rule. 304-TALK 304. Jim Justice could do a deal with Iran, and Iran wouldn't see the scam Justice put together. Steam, when Mike Lindell is running to be the governor of Minnesota and President Trump is recommending the proper sequence for taking 3 important child vaccines, is it time for a higher power to intervene? Property taxes are thievery with an American flag.
800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. You can text your Steam to 304-TALK-304. Let's go to Hurricane. Hey, Paul, you're on Steam Release.
Hey, I was watching Little League World Series last night. I don't know if anybody's brought this up. There's a team from Idaho, and their Little League name is, they're from West Valley, WV. And they were wearing the West Virginia Flying WVs on their hat, and I thought that was trademarked. So I just wondered if they had gotten permission to use that or what. Just a rhetorical question.
Paul, thank you for pointing that out. Did not see that. 800-765-TALK's the phone number. 304-TALK-304 the text line. Northern Outpost. Hey, Bill.
Hey, I'm visualizing here. Okay, the flock cameras have no facial recognition. So in my mind, I'm seeing the West Virginia logo on Hoppy's bicycle shorts just above his bicycle license plate. Okay, but my Steve is about Ethan. I couldn't pass that up. TJ set me up for that one.
Thank you for that mental image, Bill. We appreciate it.
That's a mental image I'm going to have. Anyway, Ethan, I told him to listen in. I want his talents to show here. You have used intro to Steam Release that Hoppy invented 25, 30 years ago. He's a crotchety old guy that wants to ride his bicycle. You need to throw that steam pipe and lead pipe and whatever, all that out, and get the younger people, the techies inside your audience base here, because they're the ones who are going to make and shape what's going on for the future. So I suggest to Ethan that he figures out a few cute phrases or clever phrases or whatever about this 40-year-old dinosaur that's in the Capitol complex. They call it a computer, okay? In the tech world, that's mammoth, okay? The woolly mammoth. So I just think it's up to Ethan to create a new intro for Steam Release. Bicycle shorts.
Oh, thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. 800-765-TALK, the phone number. 800-765-8255. Let that mental image stick in your brain. We're back in a moment. This is Talkline from Nico Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniels Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
CityNet is West Virginia's provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet's probably right at your front door. Now is the perfect time to connect. Local customer support you can trust. Perfect for working from home, streaming, gaming, or running your business. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, citynet.net. Connects, protects, and perfects. Quick update. Luigi Mangione has pleaded guilty to federal charges. Judge not sentencing him today. Again, I'm reading lower thirds here in the scroll from the major networks, but Luigi Mangione pleading guilty to federal charges this hour. 800-765-TALK, the phone number, 304-TALK-304. Your steams, and back to the text steams this morning, TJ.
How come Republicans are no longer triggered about the president golfing? Remember when they cried that Obama golfed too much, and then Trump golfed more in 1 year than Obama did in 2 terms? It's almost like it's not about the golf, says the texter. 304-TALK-304. Fee-fi-fo-fum, politicians are so dumb. Wishing you a good weekend. What's going on with the Board of Education? Harrison, Marion has the state board involved. Now Taylor County has financial issues. Truly amazing that this is just now being addressed, as this did not form overnight. Was going to call into steam release, then Ethan picked up, and I just got even more steamed. Hashtag justice for Sophia. The right needs to stop with the communist boogeyman. That's just lazy fear-mongering. Doesn't the best country in the world deserve the best healthcare system in the world? Educate yourselves on where our current healthcare system ranks in comparison to the rest of the world. It's shocking. Universal healthcare systems dominate the top of the rankings in terms of efficiency, preventable deaths, and life expectancy. And by the way, the long list of countries with healthcare systems outperforming ours are not communist nations. Capitalism works for a lot of things. Healthcare for profit may not be one of them. Save standard time. Can't wait to drop back to natural time and leave it locked there. Steam, to my MAGA friends, are any of you folks paying attention at all to Trump's outright assault on our American system, blowing through court orders, taking Texans' land at the border, giving it to Mexico for wall construction, using the Oval Office as his own ATM? Pick one. I'm a bit worried about you all. Oh, and wait till the elections this fall. You ain't anything, and you ain't seen anything yet, says Jim. My steam, TJ is a hypocrite. He talks about government overreach with flock cameras and not trusting the flock companies. Total trust in the companies that make vaccines, even though those companies have paid the largest fines ever because they lied about the safety of their product. Shame on Republicans for pushing Bibles and God's work in schools while poor kids go hungry, shaken down over $200 clothing vouchers. Hey, fellas, down here in Hatfield and McCoy country, and the locals are getting peed. The state gave our timber, coal, gas to the highest bidder. Now they've given our mountains, our trails, our fishing streams away in the name of tourism. I didn't use they used another word. I'm darn tired of getting behind ATVs and side-by-sides on the main roads going 35 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone, holding up the traffic. They're supposed to be on the rails and the trails. These people need to be given tickets. Come on, enforce the laws. The Greenbrier is a West Virginia historical state treasure. May it remain strong and continue for years to come under proper management. There's a lot of people who would rather listen to Statewide Sportsline in its entirety than getting cut out to listen to the Cincinnati losers, says the texter. Editor's note there, Dave. The WVRC Media app is fabulous. Works on CarPlay. And oh, by the way, if CHS or one of our other fine stations breaks away for local programming and you still want it, there's a MetroNews feed on there too. So you can have the best of both worlds. Just saying.
800-765-TALK. That is the phone number if you'd like to release your steam. You can text your steam as well. We'll read through them, or as many of them as we can. 304-TALK 304. 800-765-TALK 304-TALK 304. The two ways to release your steam. At WVU Medicine Golisano Children's, pediatric primary care is never far away. Our pediatricians are here for everything your child needs, whether it's a well child or unexpected visit. You have local, convenient access to your expert pediatric primary care team. Visit WVUkids.com to schedule an appointment. Last call for phone calls, last call for text, 800-765-TALK. That's the phone number, 800-765-8255. Text your steam to 304-TALK 304. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Football season begins right here on Metro.
Last call for phone calls, last call for text, last call to release your steam. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Text your steam to 304-TALK 304. What is wilder than West Virginia Lottery's new $20 Wild Red Sevens scratch-off? the chance to win 10 times your prize and a $70,000 top prize. You could go wild with all the possibilities. Pick up your Wild Red Sevens ticket at your favorite West Virginia Lottery retailer today. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. 800-765-TALK, the phone number, 304-TALK-304 to release your steam. Back to the text steams.
Harkening back to Hoppy's biking apparel, this texter says, and Hoppy says, my eyes are up here, Bill. How many comments do you get to compliment the Northern Outpost steam release? I suggest that comments from the Outpost be drastically limited. Steam, how many dollars have the two Trump administrations added to the national debt? 20% plus, correct? Question mark. Texter says the Maggioni sentencing date set for Friday, December the 18th. Luigi Maggioni is now speaking in court, and he just admitted that he traveled to New York with the intent to shoot and kill Brian Thompson. How is that not premeditated murder? How is that not the death penalty? I'm so tired of no consequences given to criminals and no justice given to victims. The Justice family rolled the dice. Nothing but snake eyes. Let us complainers go into the areas we want to rant about and learn how to solve the problems. 304-TALK 304. Texture passes along. I had a dream about mufflers last night and woke up exhausted. Folks complain about the Ferris wheel on the 4th of July, but not a peep about Amy Goodwin's multiple fireworks shows.
800-765-TALK. Let's get to the phones. John in Morgantown, you're on steam release.
Hey, good morning. Maybe Hoppy and Harvey Payton could start their own We Hate Everything About 45 and 47 show. I mean, listen, the Harvey Payton segment every week is untenable. It's getting horrible to listen to. Talk legal advice, not political opinions.
John, we appreciate it. 800-765-TALK. 800-765-8255 to release your steam. You can also text your steams to 304-TALK 304. We got some more text steams.
Better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and leave, no doubt. I don't know who this person is. That name doesn't ring a bell to me, and therefore I don't know about the tax situation, so I'm not reading that. Why do you not have Danny Jones on the show? I always enjoyed his insights. I'm Kathy, and I'm mad at the medical insurance companies. I think they're ran by the mafia. My husband was taken by ambulance and then in the hospital 3 days, plus a couple of more procedures. I pay $500 a month for the insurance, and they covered zero of everything because I have a $10,000 deductible. Just the ambulance ride alone was $1,200. And, of course, we both work, so we can't get state insurance. I was ecstatic to read about the Lottery Commission having the, quote, figurative minerals to not break the rules. Justice for too long has been given passes on the rules and requirements everyone else must follow, which has led him to where he sits today. No one is doing any favors by extending the inevitable. And frankly, the only chance the Greenbrier likely has to rise to its former glory is the Omni taking the reins. The judge should have given it to them as the primary creditor. The trustee appointment so they can protect the assets securing the debt they hold. And we've seen just this week an additional IRS lien filed against Justice for unpaid taxes of $8 million. As far as TJ's triage reference, if you triage this situation in a truly catastrophic emergency, you'd lay the black flag on this patient because it's not salvageable, and trying to would only waste the limited resource of ED staff and lead to the death, I think they meant ER staff, and death of others that could be saved. TJ should refrain from making medical references that he doesn't understand. Dave and TJ sending steam from Los Angeles. Los Angeles. I don't get this. Do you get this? Read
Yeah,
it if you get
I totally get it.
I don't get it.
Lupe tucked in the sheets too tight. It really bothered my wife, but it's for me, it didn't bother me a bit, says the texter, and I guarantee you would. But don't blame Lupe, texter.
You'll have to explain it to me later.
I will.
All right. Someday, and somebody should look into the DOH paying $14 million for the AC system at the District 2 headquarters in Huntington. Then in 5 years or less, they're going to build a brand new building for half the cost. Seems like a bunch of money wasting. I concur with one of the callers. I'm sick and tired of Hoppy and his rants on our president. When he comes on, I turn off the radio. How soon? Many have forgotten the nightmare that the healthcare industry has become under Obamacare. Jimmy Justice needs to enroll in business ethics classes, according to this texter. Texter says, the Greenbrier mess is a symbol for our foster care system.
Couple of things to keep in mind as we head into the weekend. Again, high school football season kicks off 2 weeks from now. Fred and Dave back for the 25th season of MetroNews High School Game Night SSAC Kickoff Classic 2 weeks from yesterday on the MetroNews TV app. Don't forget, WVU Athletics and Grant County Mulch on the number 9 truck in the Craftsman Truck Series tonight. That's in Richmond. Actually, the gas man for Grant Infinger, Tyler Rader, was a WVU, played offensive line for WVU. He's the gas man. He's the big guy. Nice. He's on the pit crew tonight for that race, so check it out, FS1. For the entire crew, Ethan, Jake, TJ, I'm Dave. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.